Okay, white supremacist violence is and always has been the number one threat to our society.
But I'm also very proud that my wife
is white.
The Breakfast Club, bitches.
All right, Charlamagne, please tell me, why was I your donkey of the day?
Well, donkey of the day for Wednesday, August 18th goes to U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. I mean, listen, there's a 20-year-long list of donkeys we could pin the tail on in regards to the disaster in Afghanistan, but we shall focus on Jake Sullivan today because of the comments he made yesterday at a press conference about the situation. There is nothing I love more than watching people cape and make excuses for Democrats when they are wrong. Okay, remember how we sat back for 4 years and couldn't believe how Republicans were caping for Trump and going along with everything he did wrong? We've all heard the phrase in political circles, Democrats fall in love with their elected officials, Republicans fall in line. Well, I see a lot of Democrats falling in line right now. They still in love, but they falling in line. And Eve told us, love is blind, and it will take over your mind. What you think is love is truly not. You need to elevate and find. Find what? Find out these folks, Republican and Democrat, are two wings on the same bird, and we all just numbers to them. That's it, numbers that keep them in power. If you think for 1 second these folks care about you because they care about actual human beings, you are bugging. Now, Joe Biden is being criticized for having a weak pullout game. He has removed troops from Afghanistan. Let's listen to hear what he had to say about it.
Afghanistan political leaders gave up and fled the country. The Afghan military collapsed, sometime without trying to fight. If anything, the developments of the past week reinforced that ending U.S. military involvement in Afghanistan now was the right decision. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves.
I mean, if F those people, that's not our problem anymore. It was a person. Okay, Joe said, if y'all not willing to fight for yourselves, we can't fight for you no more. I don't disagree with that, but I thought they spent $2 trillion to teach them how to fight. I thought that money was to train and equip the Afghan military over the past 20 years on how to fight. And they fell in a week. Somebody lying about the training. Okay, I agree with Major Richard Ojeda. I think that's how you say his last name, Ojeda. Richard Ojeda, Major Richard Ojeda. It was about military contractors and corporations raking in the profits. And, you know, nobody is questioning whether we should leave. It's the how. Okay, all this violence and instability could have probably been prevented. All of this could have been cleaner. Okay, you still got thousands of Americans trapped on the ground there. You still got Afghan allies and partners on the ground there. And that leads me to U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan. Yesterday during a press conference, Jake was asked what U.S. troops would do if all Americans and allies aren't evacuated from Afghanistan by President Biden's August 31st deadline. Would you like to hear the question and how it was answered? Let's go to, I don't know what the news report is, but let's go to it.
And there are Americans and Afghan allies who remain there. Will U.S. troops stay until everyone is out, or will they leave?
So I'm not going to comment on hypotheticals. What I'm going to do is stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people out as rapidly as possible, and we will take that day by day.
So you can't...
I just don't see how that's a hypothetical. Can I hear it one more time, please? Maybe I'm confused.
And there are Americans and Afghan allies who remain there. Will U.S. troops stay until everyone is out, or will they leave?
So I'm not going to comment on hypotheticals. What I'm going to do is stay focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people out as rapidly as possible, and we will take that day by day.
So you can't commit.
How is that a hypothetical? You can't commit to getting American troops and the allies that fought with them out after all these years? I mean, he said he's focused on the task at hand, which is getting as many people out as possible, but they taking it day by day. If that's the case, how can you say you wouldn't comment on hypotheticals? How is getting the troops out a hypothetical? Imagine being an American soldier and an ally and the national security advisor for the country you fight for says they're not answering any hypothetical questions on whether or not they're coming to get you. This really shows that packaging and presentation is all that matters, because if Trump was in office right now, if that was someone from the Trump administration, they would be calling him incompetent, saying he lacked empathy. They would be saying he wasn't fit for the job. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. You know, it's... I don't know. They'd be calling him a monster. They'd be saying he had no compassion, okay? But when Biden and people from his administration do it, folks can understand. This is why I appreciated what former CIA analyst Matt Zeller said in the media in regards to Biden's speech, because he spoke truth to power. Listen to what Matt Zeller's had to say.
I feel like I watched a different speech than the rest of you guys. I was appalled. There was such a profound, bold-faced lie in that speech. The idea that we planned for every contingency. I have been personally trying to tell this administration since it took office. I've been trying to tell our government for years that this was coming. We sent them plan after plan on how to evacuate these people. Nobody listened to us.
My fellow Americans, It is absolutely okay to criticize your elected officials, even if you voted for them, especially if you voted for them. All right, to sit around and act like their wrongs are right when we know their wrongs are, well, wrongs, okay, is wrong. All right, Joe Biden even admitted, that this is on him. He said it himself. The buck stops with me. And yet you still got these political pundits, TV analysts, and Democratic lifers who are in love with their party and Joe so much that they won't even let Joe own his role in this mess. I need y'all to keep that same energy that you would have for Trump or any Trump supporter or any conservative you don't like, all right? Don't just criticize people that you don't like. Don't just criticize folks that are in a party that's different from yours, because when you do that, it makes me believe you don't actually care about right or wrong. You care about your party over the people and your relationship with that party over the people. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, the people. It's about human lives. Well, at least that's what it should be about, but it's not. It's about politics. It's always about politics. And this is simply politics as usual. Please let Remy Ma give Jake Sullivan the biggest hee-haw.
Hee-haw, hee-haw. You stupid motherfucker. You dumb.
Donkey of the Day is brought to you by the law office of Michael S. Lamonsoff. Don't be a donkey. Dial pound 250 on your cell and say the bull if you've been hurt in a construction accident. That's pound 250 from your cell and say the bull.